Hi, Dr. Karen Can here, the author of the #1 bestseller, Guide to Healing Chronic Pain, A Holistic Approach. And today I am really upset about something. What I'm upset about is this so-called new diagnosis that we are diagnosing children, teens, and young people with. It's called juvenile onset fibromyalgia or juvenile fibromyalgia. You know, on some level, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we have this diagnosis. Not because these kids are not suffering, just like the adults with fibromyalgia, but no one seems to stop and ask, why is this happening? We know that fibromyalgia is just a grab bag diagnosis for a whole bunch of different symptoms, not being able to sleep, you're not getting refreshed when you sleep, you're achy and painful all over, you're really tired and burned out, you got brain fog. I mean, that's just to name a few symptoms. It's a really awful thing to have. I should know. I had it. So why is it that our kids are now being diagnosed with fibromyalgia, whereas 30 years ago it didn't exist, practically didn't exist in anyone under the age of 40? And it's really interesting how, as far as medical treatments go, um, what do we have in Western medicine? Well, we have counseling, antidepressants, and some other pain drugs, but we don't have a lot of great treatments in Western medicine. And now our children are suffering from this, and this drives me bananas because I'm going to tell you in this video 2 things that you can do if you have fibromyalgia, if you have a child or a teenager or a young person that's a family member that has fibromyalgia. There are 2 things you can do to start the healing process or at least minimize the damage. And before I give you those 2 tips, I just want to let you know that, this is completely curable. You can cure fibromyalgia. The longer you have it, maybe it's a little harder to cure, but the young people can really cure this very, very quickly if they get the right tools, if they get the right information. So that's one of the reasons why I'm making videos like this, so people can get that information and start feeling better. Because the longer you have it, the longer it is to cure yourself. Okay, so here are the tips. Now, #1 is one of the reasons that I believe that kids are getting fibromyalgia these days is because they are being irradiated on a daily basis with negative energy. What is that? Well, it comes from our electronic devices, our cell phones, our iPads, our tablets, our computers. We have wireless internet. Almost, gosh, I think 80% of people that have internet in their homes have wireless internet. Why? Because it's cheaper than putting wired internet in. I know, because I used to have wired internet. And so I discovered that just by having wireless internet, you can actually cause a lot of pain in people that are susceptible. So now our schools are even introducing wireless internet, whereas other schools that have seen the data on the harmfulness of EMF pollution, which stands for electromagnetic frequency pollution, other places like France or Switzerland have actually dismantled wireless internet in schools and libraries and public places because of the dangers. Whereas here in America, we are increasing the use of these wireless technologies. So one of the things you can do is start protecting yourself from these things. And I really mean it. It's very, very important. Don't minimize the impact of technology on your health because it's your brain wiring that is out of whack in fibromyalgia. 100% of people that I have tested with fibromyalgia do not pass my brain balancing test. And a lot of it is either due to or is there's a contribution from electromagnetic frequency pollution. So what do you do? Well, if you have a kid with fibromyalgia, if you have fibromyalgia yourself, you need to clean up your bedroom of electronic pollution. It's okay if you want to have a lamp, but that's about all I want you to have in the room. If you have a battery operated clock, that is not a clock radio, that is preferred. You do not want to use your cell phone in your bedroom unless it's on airplane mode or it has a protection device on it. Never, ever, ever sleep with your cell phone on, okay, unless you have those 2 things or one of those 2 things done to it. So I'll talk about protection devices in another video, but for now, you turn your phone off. Do not have cordless phones in your bedroom. You don't want that microwave radiation either. So get rid of the cordless phone. If you have to have a phone in your bedroom, have a landline phone, the one that's connected with a wire to the wall. And if you have equipment in your bedroom, I know some kids have their computers and laptops and all that kind of stuff. You need to unplug all of that. Do not have your laptop charging or on while you are sleeping. you want to have that all unplugged from the wall. Preferably, I don't want them to have any of that equipment in their bedroom if they're sick, but if they have to have it, you should not have it plugged in because there's still energy running in the wiring. You don't want anything with a transformer next to it. I used to have a lamp with a wonderful, big, huge transformer, and it radiated my head, and I got fibromyalgia within 4 weeks of using that lamp. So this is a big deal, and I'm very passionate about it. So what can you do if you have used electronic equipment in your bedroom and all that dirty energy is still hanging around? Well, you can use a product called Clean Sweep, which I recommend. You can get it from Energy Tools International. EnergyToolsInt.com is the company. It's called Clean Sweep, and you can actually spray this in your bedroom before you sleep at night to clear any negative energy that's left over. Okay, so that was tip number 1, is EMF hygiene, electromagnetic frequency hygiene. Get rid of the negative energy in your home and around you. We'll talk about what you can do in another video as far as protecting yourself with devices. And I've used these for my home because I love electronic devices and I love the computer and I love my iPad. So I'll be showing you what those devices are in a future video, so stay tuned. Now, the second thing that you can do to really help yourself heal from fibromyalgia is you have to eat well. And not the way that the American Dietetic Association tells you to eat well with a bunch of whole grains and dairy and blah, 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 blah. What you need to do, most simply, is you need to avoid the toxic food. So toxic food comes in the form of processed food and genetically modified food. A lot of genetically modified food is in processed foods. If you avoid processed food, that really helps. You want to stick with organic food if you can. Now, you should know the top 3 or 4 GMO foods out there because it's not labeled in the United States. So cotton seed oil is one of them, canola oil or canola, and the 2 big ones, corn and soy. There's tons of corn and soy in processed food. So if you have to have something with corn and soy, make sure it is organic. Same thing with canola oil. So you want organic canola, organic soy, organic corn if you're going to eat these kinds of things. I personally don't think they're terribly healthy for you, but at least if you're, having a hard time getting away from processed food, at least read the label, because those foods are actually toxic, increases, in pig studies, increases the lining of the stomach to be really, really sore and irritated, and in rat studies causes tumors. But anyway, that's not good for you, and if you're healing from fibromyalgia, you need all the help you can get. So those are my 2 tips for today. Basically, clean up the electronic pollution in your home and in your life. And like I said, next time I'll be talking about some protection devices like this that you can use to decrease the stress on your body if you have to use electronic devices. And the second thing is eat whole foods, preferably organic, and avoid processed food and genetically modified food. And just know that fibromyalgia is curable, and it's even faster in kids. None of our kids should be diagnosed with this. And I'm on a mission to get these kids cured because they shouldn't have to suffer this, not when it's preventable and treatable. All right, until next time, take care. Bye for now.